Very good evening, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, you're in mute, ma'am.
Hi, very good evening, friends. I welcome you all to today's webinar. And this is a very special webinar where we're inviting partners for Franchise India. And we have the leadership of Franchise India on this webinar today, as partners form a very important and a very strategic part of our business model and takes most of our time share. But before we get into the offering, it is very important that we also spend some time to understand who we are as a company, what is our business, and the combined strength of our group companies that we bring together. We'll also talk about the industry, which is franchise industry at large. How big is the opportunity? How big is the industry size? What is the IFC program? Why independent franchise consultants? How can you, as an individual, qualify and get selected to become partner with Franchise India? And finally comes the value proposition that we offer to our partners. I'll also request all our friends who have joined in to make this session very, very interactive. Any questions that you have, please use the Q&A box to ask the questions. So just to also quickly introduce you, Shakti, who you just heard, he heads our region of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And we also have Kashank Anand, who works directly at the head office of Franchise India. He works directly with me and our chairman, Mr. Gaurav Maurya. And post this session, he will also connect with you, and I'm sure he would have connected with most of you who've come in today. So we'll give you a little brief on our business at large, our company. And like I said, let's make it very, very interactive. Any questions that you have, please use the Q&A box and we'll be happy to answer it in the given time that we have. So just to start with, I'll give you a little brief about Franchise India. In short, who we are a company which is start your own business specialist and also scale your brand. So anyone who wants to start a business is the overall community, I would say, or the overall opportunity that we have at hand. And companies looking to expand through a franchise network inorganically are the overall ecosystem that we work with. And given the distribution that we have today, Franchise India, through our group companies, we are present in about 97 cities across India. And we also operate in 15 global markets across the globe, which includes the entire India subcontinent, which includes Sri Lanka, Thailand, we're there in Nepal, Bangladesh, we're there in US, UK, Singapore, Malaysia. We're also available in Brazil, Canada, and larger part of our ecosystem within India and also in the global markets is represented by our global franchise consultants and independent franchise consultants in India. So given the distribution that we have and the spread we are today the world's largest franchise development and distribution company. So just to give you a perspective, if anybody wants to start a business, there are only three ways people can start a business. One is your own startup, wherein you can start your own business, put your own capital, and you can run your business. Second is resales, where you can take over existing business and run that and acquire that business. And third is the business of franchising. So at Franchise India, we work on the latter two, which means if you are looking at buying an existing business, we also work with our investors to help them buy an existing business. And we also work with our investor base to help them take a franchise opportunity. So in the last 28 years, we have in fact worked with more than 10 million investors to help them start a business, where we have handheld them through the entire process of buying a business, from helping them sharing the options and opportunities to helping them evaluate these business opportunities and finally helping them to close on the dotted line. We work with them through the entire cycle of business buying. At the same time, we're also proud and humbled that we have worked with more than 20,000 companies, including more than 850 market entries that has been spearheaded by Franchise India and Fran Global, which is our global entity operating in 15 international markets. And so what we have done in the last 28 years, we have created a very strong ecosystem through our group companies. We created a very strong distribution through our direct teams and larger distribution through our partners, covering entire India and the most important consumption markets in the world. At the same time, we have also created an opportunity to distribute the opportunity that we have created to selected partners. And that is because today more and more people are starting their entrepreneurship journey. They're buying businesses more than they were buying 27 years back when we started our company. And more companies are expanding via franchise route than they were expanding 2.5 decades back. And I would say this is not going to stop here because this space is only getting larger. There are more and more entrepreneurs today and aspiring to be entrepreneurs than has been in the history of entrepreneurship. And hence, we have always at Franchise India and Fran Global, we have worked to develop our capabilities in terms of the solutions that we offer to our community, and also capacities through our distribution, through our group companies, not to stay ahead of the curve. So quickly, little overview on the number of businesses that we run. So, like I said, in India, we run in the name of Franchise India, and we have multiple entities and businesses under the umbrella of Franchise India. Globally, we work as Fran Global, operating in a lot of countries overseas. But largely, there are three businesses that we predominantly handle under our group companies. One is, like I said, start your own business. This is a very large community of investors who want to start a business in franchising or resales. And like I said, this community is very, very large. So we cater to communities which can have an investment appetite as small as, I would say, 20 odd lakhs, could go up to even 200 odd crores. And on the other side, we also work with a lot of these corporates, startups, all alike, even unicorns who want to expand their franchise network within India and overseas markets. And like I said, there are 20,000 companies that we have consulted to get into franchising. So through our consulting arm, which is FranCorp, which is again the world's number one franchise consulting company in the world, Franchise India partnered with FranCorp about 19 years back. And FranCorp is a name which is much older than Franchise India. It is a company which comes with 5 decades of experience consulting companies like McDonald's, KFCs, and these are names which are synonymous with franchising. So FranCorp works with companies to make them ready to get into franchising, because when we started Franchise India, there was a very small, I would say, ecosystem of companies or brands franchisers who were actively franchising. At that point in time, there were just about 300 odd companies that were actively franchising. But we felt if we have to make this ecosystem big and very strong, we also have to work on the other side to bring in more and more responsible companies. So through these 27 years, we have been instrumental in bringing more than 20,000 companies into franchising for the very first time, which not only includes a lot of startups, because that in initial years of our business contributed a very large quantum. But today, all large corporates from Tata, Reliance, Aditya Birla Group, they all work with Franchise India to help them partner with the respective franchisees. So what we have done is we've created this very strong ecosystem, because the opportunity is very, very deep. In India alone, if I talk about the overall franchise opportunity, we have every single home who's looking to start a business. There would be somebody, I'm sure, in your home who's looking to start a business at least at some point of time in their life. And all of you here, I'm sure you're looking to start your own business. Some of you might be already running your business. So every time when we do this webinar, we always see a great wealth of experience of partners or prospective partners who come on the webinar. They come from different cities, different geographies, diverse experiences and profiles. And this is what makes our IFC opportunity very, very strong, because a large number of network that we have today in India and across, I would say, global markets, most of this network and distribution that we have today is represented by franchise partners. And we also understand that, unlike a lot of other businesses that you all come across, Franchise India, we are in a knowledge business, which requires everyday learning to be able to advise business buyers on the right opportunities. And it also requires somebody who wants to partner with us also to come with a mindset of growth and believe in the purpose of democratization of entrepreneurship, which actually is the foundation of our company. And that was the reason we started our business in 1999. So in short, we're not a product company, but a service and a solution company where we bring solutions to our community of investors who want to start a business, and our community of companies, franchisors who want to expand their footprint via franchisee. So which also means that the role of consultants like us is also getting very, very specialized and very, very evolved. The new world, which is a knowledge-driven economy world, advisor plays a very, very important role. He's somebody who's seen by our clients, our investors, our brands as someone who offers them credible advice. And more importantly, also brings in a lot of hyper local market knowledge, which is extremely imperative in our industry. So we're looking at partners who have the determination to build their own brand, their own self-equity, and also at the same time, there's somebody, because it is very important when you know your product, client actually trusts you and respects you most. So not only we have created this community, the ecosystem, but at the same time, an opportunity to expand the ecosystem and community through partnership in the form of independent franchise consultants. And learning curve like we understand, is very, very big for things that we have not done in life. And through this collaboration, this learning curve, or I would say validated learning of our last 28 years, can be shortened. So how do we create these meaningful, purposeful, and profitable partnership was the idea behind this opportunity. So, friends, I'll take this opportunity also to now introduce our chairman, Mr. Gaurav Maria. He's chairman of Franchise India and Fran Global, and has been working, and rather, he's pioneered franchising in India, and works very, very closely with a lot of clients in India, helping them. In fact, most of the brands which I talked about, he directly works with them in helping building their business models. I'll request Gaurav to also give his perspective on franchising at large, and we'll then follow this with giving you a little understanding on the overall business model of independent franchise consultant. Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you, Sonia, and welcome, friends, and welcome to this very special webinar called Independent Franchise Consultant. This is an invitation for people to join Franchise India and work in the capacity of a consultant to advise entrepreneurs when they want to start their own new business. So, friends, we will do a flow of this webinar. I mean, I'll start with giving you a little introduction on our group, my own journey of Franchise India, and then we'll talk about a little bit on franchise industry, how this industry has evolved in India and globally. And then we talk about the business of business brokerage. Why we are very excited about this opportunity and how globally business brokers have impacted overall entrepreneur ecosystem. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll also see, because you all are looking for an entrepreneurial role, so we'll also talk about how financially rewarding this is for you, because eventually any career you choose, it has to make financially sense for you and your goals for next few years. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about how this whole system works, right? Because whenever you enter a new industry, you need to understand the methodology of that industry, how that industry really works for you. We'll also talk about how you will see a next 5 years growth. If you join it now, is your career progression, how it's going to be done, at what level it can go through, because that's also very important. Because if you don't have a milestone where you eventually see end of the tunnel, you see where you want to be, your hard work can take you. That's also important. And then we'll get into the last part, which is understanding what kind of support we provide you, what is the overall potential, and so on and so forth. So let me start with my journey. So as Sonia introduced, I was introduced to franchising in the late 90s. I used to live in US, and I got very impressed by this industry of franchising. It really helped on one side brand owners to scale their business faster, because US was a very big country, and companies to scale without putting their own capital. Franchising was very attractive. And you were also able to manage the business much better because you have a local partner who understands local knowledge, local capability. So every company, from the largest of the corporations like Marriott's or a 7-Elevens or the Starbucks or a McDonald's or a KFC or any other chain or a petrol pumps, which are Shell, Chevron, they all were using franchising as a way of expansion. And it also gave them a faster expansion in and penetration in different parts of America. But what I liked more was this whole entrepreneur ecosystem. When people want to start their own business, they had two choices. One, they can start their own business, which had higher risk. You have no knowledge, and it was very difficult to start your own business. And second, you can start a franchise, which was much easier to do. It also bring in a lot of knowledge, a lot of know-how, a lot of hand holding, and more importantly, the brand. Because imagine you open up your own burger joint without any brand, how difficult it would be for people to come to you. But if you open up a McDonald's or you open up a Dunkin' Donuts, it really creates a value. So that really got me going on this, and I thought that I will do the same ecosystem in India. I returned back to India and in 1999 established a company called Franchise India. Now we're very, very proud under our three brand names. We have three brand names. One is Franchise India, Fran Global, and Frank Cop. Between these three brands, we are world's largest franchise company, run and operate in 15 countries. And we work with thousands of brands globally in different categories. And today we are working in categories like retail, jewelry, fashion, healthcare, education, services, direct to home businesses, across categories, across this. And also, sometimes we don't notice. If you start thinking from tomorrow, almost everything you're consuming is coming from a franchise. It can be our kids going to school. or you going to a salon, or you going to a hotel, staying in a Holiday Inn or a Marriott, or even a Taj now, or buying any goods from grocery stores to any optical store, go to a lens cart or go to any other player, or going to fashion and malls, consuming anything in that space. So everything from automobile to Amul Dairy, across anything is actually a franchise business model. Even the courier coming to your home is actually by a franchise. We are handling Zepto, which is one of the fastest growing quick commerce company. It's all businesses is done through a franchise. So franchising is impacting everyone's life. It is impacting businesses. It is helping entrepreneurs to build their new businesses. So it's a very proven business model today. Franchising is a $5 trillion industry. So friends, if you don't understand that number, if this would have been a country, it would have been a fourth economy of the world, right? Much bigger than Indian economy, because 5 trillion is a very large part of the industry. And I feel India would become the largest market for franchising in years to come. We are already a very large market. We are already a second largest market after United States, because our businesses are still domestic. We have not taken our brands global. But I don't see that far that we will see a lot of Indian brands, a lot of Indian businesses are going to be on the streets of Europe and Asia, or Gulf region, or any other parts, or even United States. So I feel that we will have that capability, and especially with now the geopolitics changing, we will build a lot of Indian brands, and that's a good story. And today morning even it was very exciting, because I see a lot of businesses looking even better now, because the GSTs have come down, the consumption would grow. So it's a very, very good timing for businesses and brands to grow in the market. So friends, what is the business model? Why, while this is a macro picture of franchising and how franchising grows and so on and so forth, but you have to understand what is the business model, especially the business model of business broking. Before I go into dump into this, let's do a formal introduction. So if I will ask you a question, if you can give a little introduction about yourself, write in the Q&A box, so we understand where you're coming from. So if you are somebody who is a professional, very carefully understand, if you're a professional, you are working in a job, you can write P and write your city, and even you want to write about your career, because if it makes some sense on the career which we are choosing on business broking. The second, if you are a business owner, which means that you're running some form of business, then write B, and also you can write a little bit about your business you run, and because to us to see how it complements becoming a business broker or independent franchise consultant. And if you are a management consultant, which means that you have some kind of consulting experience, you've been a consultant, you have been a coach, business coach, you might be a L&D professional, you might be a counselor, any kind of capability you have, you can write MC and tell us a little bit about yourself. And finally, if you are in a career change, which means that now whatever you've done is done, and now you're getting into a new career, just write C and tell us about your city, where city you're coming from. So go into Q&A box, introduce yourself. There is a Fakir Mohan, which is writing A, so it's not the choice. So it was professional, P for professionals, B for business owners, MC for management consultant, and C for career change. And please use the Q&A box. Some people are writing on this. There is Pritish Soni. Pritish, welcome. He's in Mumbai, and he's a professional. So good to have you, Pritish. And then we have who else I can see. Please write. Everybody should introduce. Now a lot of people writing. So there is Murli. Murli is from Chennai. Murli, welcome. You are C. C is a good situation to be in, because you can make your now choices. Whatever was done is done. Now you can really decide to go further. We have a senior leader, Murli Saktivel, who's on the call, and he leads in the entire Tamil Nadu and Kerala, senior leader, and also a very experienced man in franchising. Then we have Chintan, who's from Ahmedabad. Yes, banking and finance fits our business. You understand advisory, you understand, client relationship, because for a banker, it's all about relationship, right? A banker is all about finding relationship with the entire thing. Then we have Shivam, who's a professional in Panipat. There is Mr. Patil, who's also from Pune. Again, a great market. I'm very keen on Pune. Pune is a very big immigrant market, great for franchising. Almost everything is working there. It's good economics for franchise to run. Rentals are lower, and consumption is equal, and it is a great market. And we have a big office in Pune at World Trade Center at Kharadi. Uh, then we have Mr. Gangadhar, who's again from Hyderabad. Mr. Gangadhar, welcome, and he's from IT. The only problem I have is when people are professionals, I don't know how much time they would have. And this business of consulting needs your time. And then we have Fakir again, and he is looking for a career change. Then we have Ajay from Haridwar, very, very keen. UP is one big market which I'm very keen. Any market which doesn't create too many jobs is a great entrepreneur market. So if I want to make 2 lakh rupees in Haridwar, there are not many jobs, but everybody who has an aspiration to make good money. So people tend to buy franchise. They would buy maybe a fashion franchise or a food or a hotel or a XYZ, whatever business you can choose. Then we have Shirdar, who's again from Pune. Then we have Mos from Imphal, again a great business. Then we have Sudarshan, who's not written what he wants to do. Then we have Alex, who's from Kerala. Alex, you should also talk to Saktivel, and we have a big team in Kerala also. Great market again. Kerala is a very unique market, and I'm getting very impressed with what is going on in Kerala. So much good entrepreneurship, great formats, a lot of great startups which can scale to different level. And I see it's a fabulous market, and we have a great business there, and all big companies now we are doing, like most of the jewelers, great food brands, a lot of innovation in specialty retail, all is happening in Kerala as we speak. Then we have Prachi, is Ahmedabad, and then we Himanshu from Delhi. Again, Himanshu, your profile fits in beautifully because banking and investment fits in right. And if you're around in Delhi, we are headquartered in Delhi. You can come and visit us. And then we have, we have also Nirav, who's joined in. And then we have Sudarshan again, a property software engineer. And then we have Ravi Kumar, and looking for long-term sustainable franchise business. So Ravi, welcome. This is the most sustainable business. If becoming a professional, a franchise is the most sustainable. And I'll explain you why. Say you open up a restaurant franchise. You open up a restaurant franchise, everything depreciates. In 5 years, your net value is zero. But if you start a knowledge business and become a consultant franchise or a professional franchise, every time you grow, your knowledge grows, your business grows. So there is a difference between knowledge businesses and other businesses. And I'll give you another example. I always say that every business has three types of ROI. Three types. One ROI is very classic, return on investment, which means that you put your money and money works for you, and you get return on that money. I've never believed on that kind of businesses because I feel that there's somebody would else have more money than I would have. So I believe in another two ROI. The second two ROI is return on involvement and return on intelligence. This is very special. So consulting businesses are these two ROIs. How much involvement you put and how much intelligence you bring in the business. And intelligence also is a work in progress, right? Which means that you constantly build your knowledge base and take it to the next level. Okay, thanks. So Nirav is a business owner. Welcome, Nirav. Friends, I'll give you a little overview about this whole business brokerage. But let's go to brokerage first. What kind of brokerage businesses are there? So if you want to buy a property, there are 1 million brokers, 1 million, who are selling you these residential, commercial, or any other real estate asset class. And what they bring in, they facilitate your transaction, they guide you a little bit, and they help you choose this entire thing. And it's a big career and a huge opportunity. But if you want to buy, say, a financial product, which means you buy a mutual fund or insurance or any other, invest into stock market, then also there is almost a 1 million financial advisors. But imagine if you want to buy yourself a business, you want to start your business. There is nobody. And it is very complex, unlike buying a property. Property, I can go to a developer directly and say, I want to buy a 2 BHK entirely. But when you want to buy a business, you're confused. You don't know what business you should choose, how this business has performed for others. How do I do comparison of this business with other brands available in the same category? Would it do my financial goals? So it's so complex that it creates a huge amount of anxiety for people to choose the right business for themselves. So on one side, we have a huge demand. Almost every home has somebody who's looking to start a business. And on the other side, you don't have any professional service, at least in India, available outside franchise India, which can advise you how you should choose the right business. So when people come to us, we take them to 3 stages. We take them to information. We give them a lot of information on different brands we represent. By the way, we represent over 1,000 brands, and we have worked with about 18,000 brands. So we give them opportunity assessment. We understand all these opportunities and provide them a lot of information. But the real value, we bring another 2 parts. The second part is doing the evaluation. What opportunity would suit that individual at his location, right? So if I was coming from, say, Agra, and I had 50 lakh rupees to invest, I have a unique location, I have a unique timing, my skills are very different, my risk appetite is very different. How do I evaluate what is the right opportunity for you? And the third part is, because we are world's largest franchise company, we have ability to negotiate the right contracts, right commercial terms for you. Now, this looks very straight and very entirely, but it has been built over 28 years. This methodology we've built over 28 years, and we make you champion that you can advise anybody on selecting the right opportunity. So when you become an IFC, independent franchise consultant, you become a start your own business specialist. You help people to choose the right business. How powerful it is this? Ask yourself, have you met anybody ever who can say, I can help you start your own business? So what is a Franchise India? Franchise India is a platform, and we do 3 things. One, we help people to start your own business, which means that we help you invest into an active business. You can start a new franchise, you can buy an existing business, or you can invest into a startup. So what we do. Second, we help businesses to scale through franchising. And third, we also help people to exit the business. If they cannot, want to run the business, they can also exit the business. So friends, business broking is a very, very powerful idea. It's a very powerful idea, phenomenal opportunity. And fortunately, we are the only company in that. Now, it surprises you. It is such a big idea. Why only Franchise India? Why not many other players? If selling a property, you got 1 million people, why would you not have that? Now, the question is, it's not easy because you need to have a large mandates from companies to represent them, because it's also very complex. If I'm representing Reliance, I'm representing Zepto, I'm representing Bata, or I'm representing all these large companies, it's a big reputation case, right? Because they are putting their brand on stake that we are selecting right people for them. So this opportunity, because over the 28 years with 1,200 full-time employees, with a lot of effort and a lot of hard work and our testimonials, we have the credibility, and today a mandate which is as large as 1,000 brands been outsourced to us, that we can find franchisees for them, and most of the cases exclusive. Now, on the other side, franchisee gets 35,000 people applying for buying a franchise every single week, which means more than 100,000 people come to our shows, visit us in our shows. We do 20 shows every month, or read our magazines, or come to our digital platform, which is called franchiseindia.com, or through Meta ads or LinkedIn ads, to any kind of place where you just after this webinar, search anything on Google and say, I want this franchise, that franchise, 100% you're coming to us. So these people come to us. So on one side, we have 100,000 people coming to us and say, I have money and I need your advice, which brand we do. On the other side, I have a mandated brands. So life becomes simpler because I have these 2 banks which are ready, and we have to just counsel these people and bring them with ethics, accuracy, and help them in terms of making the important decision of their life to start their business. Now, because this is done by a specialist like us, people at both sides are happy to pay us a good fee. And that's where it becomes financially extremely rewarding. Even you did 2 transactions a month, you can end up making 5 lakh rupees a month or maybe more. And if you did higher transactions, it can go up to any number of transaction value. So friends, this is the business model. This is a business model, but it is not for everyone. Why I asked everybody that introduce yourself, because I feel we have a very strong program. This independent franchise consultant, not only in India, but now runs in many countries, even countries as remote as Mongolia. Mongolia have 9 IFCs working, and we are the only company there. We have people working in Thailand, we are working in Singapore, we are working in Malaysia, we have full GCC, I have now an Australian network, we have UK, North America. So we have this network very successful globally. We are the largest franchise consultant network in the world. And we are very selective of inviting people who would join this network, get trained with us, and we also be very successful. So friends, what does the next 5 years look like? If you start this journey, how does it work? First, you will start as an individual. You will not have to have team. You don't have to have a big office. You don't have to have a lot of running cost, because I feel that's something which can really be very tiring. Especially some people want to start their new business and they put a lot of cost initially and it starts burn. And every month you have to go to a bank and take money out to support your business. And that's not very good, right? So when you start, we recommend you that at least for 6 months, don't put any infrastructure. I have IFCs with me which are working for 5 years and they still don't have any infrastructure. They still work out of our offices, or they work at client's office, or they meet them in any other place which is on comfort. And plus we do a lot of events and they meet and events and things like that. But if you still like to do it, once you have consistent cash flows, which means that you are making 3-4 lakh rupees a month, then you can make a small office and maybe have one assistant with you who can handle your calls, your appointments, your structure. And as you go along and start building more deals, then you start hiring people and start building a little firm structure where you have 7-8 people working for you, and your revenues can go down to about 25-30 lakh rupees a month. And our sharing is normally 50-50. So you normally would go at that slab. When you are at 25-30 lakh rupees, you start making 12 odd lakh rupees. Even your cost is 2-3 lakh rupees of running your team and some people and some bit of work you do, you still make a very good money. But I don't recommend it at the initial days. I tell people that I started myself as an IFC 28 years back, and with a very small setup. And today I'm proud that I run 1,200 people team and world's largest network. And that's what has been the journey. So you have to progress constantly. But the only risk I see is that people who come with no time availability. They might have contacts, they might have this, but they don't have time. We don't invite them because we feel that's a disaster, because I give you quality leads. So by the way, we not only just give you brands, but I also give you qualified leads. All leads are qualified, given to you. Minimum 50 leads every single month. But every single IFC tends to get 100, 150, 200, sometimes more leads to them. So we lose money if we don't put time, because we are putting a lot of investment every single month to provide you all the quality leads and so on and so forth. So it's very integral that we only select people who have minimum of 100 hours. 100 hours, if you don't have, then this would not be right for you. And so you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. First, do you have these 100 hours? And you're honest about it. Sometimes I get an IT professional says, oh, no, I work 5 days, I have a weekend, I can use my weekend and I can really work hard. But the first 2 weekends he will work, and then third weekend he needs to travel with his family. Oh no, I want to have life balance. So if you don't have honestly that time, don't commit into this business. Okay, because I don't want anybody to fail with me, because we are world's number one and we're the most successful one. So we want only success to be shared. I don't want anybody to come and not be successful. The second thing which you need to do is you need to be constantly investing into your knowledge game, right? We give you every single day. Franchise India has at least 2 brands training. Normally at 12 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, we do training for brands. And even if you don't attend those training at that time, you can go for recording and learn on these different brands, their financial model, their business model, their performance, their competition, their founder story, everything you know about them. We have a library of 900 videos which we give it to you, where you can know about every single brand, about how their journey, what they did, what their financials are, what their ROI is, what the risk they carry, what training they provide, the support they provide, everything, right? So that is the second investment you need to do, is that constantly build your knowledge base and constantly grow your knowledge, because more knowledgeable you are, more intelligent you would be sitting across your investor and guiding him what needs to be done. The third thing, which is equally important, that you have to be somebody who's extremely honest about helping people. And you should enjoy helping people to start their entrepreneurial journey. You should rather feel proud of it, that you have made lives of people who would start with that. Equally, you should be very sensitive on somebody's investment, because it's actually very hard-earned money which they're going to put. So even if your investor doesn't see the risk and you see the risk, you have to really make them aware about it. It's like an honest initiative where you go up and tell people that this business has these potential risk. At least you did your job, and then still they want to have a decision to invest. It's their decision, but at least as a consultant, you are able to guide them in the right direction. And the fourth is that you need to believe on networking. So network is your net worth in today's time. So if you are not consistently networking, building your network, it would also not help. We help you to create that ecosystem of networking. We provide you so many events, so many places, and you need to engage with people. When they know you, that you are the person who can help them or help somebody they know to start a business, they would always come back to you. Now, finally, if you decide that, look, I want to be an independent franchise consultant, I want to be there as a start your own business specialist, then what kind of support you can expect from us? I call the MOST, MOST. M stands for mentoring. We will mentor you, guide you, help you to understand this business model, understand this methodology. A lot of things we have done. There are about 9 modules which we take you through. But more importantly, it's everyday mentoring. Then O stands for opportunity. Every month, 30 new brands is added to your portfolio. So we'll give you 1,000 brands, but every month, 30 new brands come. And we are also very conscious about what businesses are doing well at one time. Like last year onwards, last 2 years, we've been focused on a lot of jewelry, because gold was rising, there were metal gains. We exactly knew that this is a time where everybody wants to invest into gold franchise. So the Kalyans and the Indriyas and all these bigger companies we are representing, so we help people to choose what businesses in there. So we were the first one to get into childcare. When 2004, we saw preschools growing. We were the first one to get the QSRs, because when we saw malls coming in and food courts being built, we were the first one to define e-commerce businesses when e-commerce was doing. We were the first one to decide and go to quick commerce when we saw Zaptos and Blinkits and likes of them coming. So we always chase businesses and brands, which is the next 5-year story, next 10-year story. While there are some classic businesses which you always say good is a school franchise or a healthcare franchise, they always stay in business, right? So that also is opportunity we provide you. S is sport. You need a lot of sport initially. From making a proposal to sending a basic pitch deck, or understanding a joint meeting or a joint call. I do personally about 4 or 5 calls sometimes in a day with my IFC partners along with their client, and go through that. And finally is training. Training is very critical because it's all about training. So you have to attend 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, morning 8 o'clock, Zoom call, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, and Saturday. And initially, when you join, you have to do 3-day residential training in our headquarters. And the next training is happening on 13th, 14th, and 15th in a headquarters. We host you. We get your hotel, your airport pickup. Everything is taken care by us. So friend, this is a very comprehensive program. Again, I said it's not for everyone. I always state my team that if I come to this webinar and I get one person who's really good and he has the same belief system, we made our day, right? Because I know this one person can change his ecosystem, his city, can contribute in building entrepreneurship. And if you're really interested, post this webinar, think over it. Don't rush into this entire thing. Then talk to our team, or they would talk to you. and ask you a lot of questions. You also have a right to ask a lot of questions. So Kashak would come to you and he will reach out to you, and Saktivel and his team would reach out to you for Chennai and Kerala, and they would ask you a lot of questions. They would ask to your profile, they would ask where you come from, and then give you a lot of answers. And if you still feel that this is something which you want to pursue, then they would organize a meeting with me and Sonia, and we will have a chat with you. We will understand your strength areas. You can also meet our existing IFCs, anyone, and talk to them and say, look, how's this program, how it will work, because sometimes peer-to-peer learning is better. And if we feel jointly that this is something which we should do together, then we'll welcome you to in our family of Franchise India, family of world's brilliant franchise consultant. And we take pride that we have sold more business than anybody else in the world. And this is a very big statement to be made by somebody sitting in India, because and this is something which I take pride that we build a business in India which has sold more businesses in the world than anybody else in the world. So friends, so this is your it's very important decision for you. It's not easy decision whenever you look at a new career opportunity. What it costs to become a consultant with Franchise India. It takes about 6 odd lakh rupees, only 6 lakh rupees. Why I kept so low? Because I felt that I don't need people with a lot of capital. They have many other choices. I need people who come with knowledge, come with time, come with their professional experience, come with their commitment to make this change, commitment to create better ecosystem for entrepreneurship, and then we collectively make money, right? So this is the equal partnership model where we invest on you, your marketing, your support structure, and you invest your time and this little bit money which you bring in the initial days. And then we have a much bigger reward together. So friend, this was today's webinar, and hope I was able to give you answers, but this is not done in this just a 40-minute chat. It needs much more detailed discussion. And so now I'll pass it back to Sonia for her statement and last words. And then you can obviously reach out to Kashak, and he will start, setting up calls and appointments and so on and so forth. So thank you very much for your time. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you so much, friends, for joining us today. We'll request maybe a one-to-one call, which Kashank can do with all of you and Shakti from our Tamil Nadu and Kerala region. And just to summarize, from various business opportunities that you must have looked at and evaluated, this is a partnership which is an asset-light partnership, but very heavy on intellect. The biggest asset for us is the partner himself. And also for our partner, the biggest asset and the dependency that we want they should have is on two things, which is time and knowledge. And that is what is the working capital which is required, in our structure and in our business. So we look forward to interacting with some of you. And we have trainings which are planned every single month. In this month, 13th, 14th, and 15th are 3 days which are planned. In case we decide to partner with each other, we'll definitely welcome you and attend this 3-day training in Delhi. That's our head office. Thank you so much for being with us today.